I am a Pakistani spy. I stole classified information from Indian tank regiments. If you have not subscribed our channel, then subscribe it now, and press the bell icon, so you will never miss any update of this story. If you have not watched old videos, visit our channel, and watch old videos of this series, so you will know how I reached across borders and stole army files from army camps. Let's move towards story. The files were in my possession, but there was one problem that could not be resolved. I had to hand over these files to my contact, and contact had to deliver these files to my seniors in Lahore. There were the same dangers in crossing the border. If contact were to be caught, such important information, which not only Pakistan desperately needed, but for which I had risked my life, would not have reached its destination. Photostat was not invented in those days. It was only in Western countries. I neither had a camera nor could afford one expensive enough to photograph the contents of these files. After much thought, I decided that it was a difficult task, but it had to be done before giving the files to contact. The company, while working in Tarbala, used to make weekly magazine which was printed in Jang Press Rawalpindi. The writing was done in litho, but it was printed on offset. We used to print them in magazines and transfer them to photo film. Photo film is just like film that can be seen across, but it has a photo on it. And the same photo film is used for printing. Now, I was looking for any newspaper or magazine that is printed on photo offset from Delhi. I went to a bookstall and started looking through magazines and newspapers. Finally, Famous Film magazine was found, used to print on offset. I also noted down the address of this magazine and went to its office on Asif Ali Road. Instead, I asked the owners and the editor-in-chief about the scribes. I asked about one of them, who looked Muslim in appearance, asked the photo filmmaker. He was not an office worker but had his own shop and his own equipment and made photographic film for various magazines and newspapers. I approached him and asked for urgent photo film. My both files had more than 200 pages. When I told him the size, he said that if you make it in post size, the cost will be less and the time will be relatively less. I promised to give him more than the required amount with conditions. First, all the work has to be completed in maximum 48 hours. I will be present during the making of the second photo film. Money except the words. He also had 3 workers which he stopped. Immediately, came to Lodi Hotel. I took out the papers from the files and put numbers on them and went to his studio. They reduced the file one by one under my supervision and was present at all stages of the photo film. Therefore, as long as they were able to work, they continued to work. The stage of reducing the papers was first determined, and the papers were taken into possession. The rest of the steps were found later. What was left was completed the next day. They did not ask me what kind of files I was making and why I was making so many photo films, nor did I tell them anything. All this work was done with the shine of hidden rupees. He did not even feel the need to know this. It happened just like how Bengalis, Burmese are treated as Pakistan in our ID card and passport offices today. Foreign terrorists also have Pakistani identity cards and passports. More than 1 lakh Bengalis have been made Pakistan in Karachi alone, carrying drugs into Saudi Arabia. All the people who were caught and beheaded had Pakistani passports, while they were not Pakistani citizens, but they had made Pakistani passports on the strength of money. I stored all the photo film in a box in order, and also rearranged the papers of the files into different files, and wrapped both files in plastic so that they would not be damaged by falling in water. After that, I kept them in a jute bag. Now, I was satisfied that first, God willing, these files will reach my seniors safely, and if God willing they cannot reach, I will make arrangements to send them to Pakistan. In photo film, I wrote about the success of the mission at Ahmednagar and more information from Secret Light. At the appointed time, my colleagues met me at this restaurant. They had shifted in the house. Some of the furniture was given to them by the landlord, and some was bought by them. I had written the details of expenses in my post. Now, my colleagues and I needed more money. Because now I used to interact with high-class people in Delhi, and also my colleagues. The goals of the missions were to move forward. We were all looking forward to the arrival of contact. Now, instructions will likely be available. After our first contact on Tars Amir, my two companions, Johnny and Babina, were eager to go again to accomplish their mission, but I dissuaded them from this intention till I received the mail. I didn't want to alert the Indian security by firing a couple of blasts in a military area. In addition, incendiary substances and hand grenades were to be procured from their sympathizers in India, for which I used to contact them. I wanted this work to be postponed. However, it was not a matter of whether I wanted or not, rather, we were fulfilling the above orders. Only 2 days left until the arrival of contact. I spent those evenings at Ashoka and Akbar Hotel. Now, I gave my full attention to service it. It was focused on entering the club and increasing the rituals there. Met the contact on the appointed day and time. He signaled to me that another man had been sent with him and was standing there. For your generation, just for my satisfaction, I walked towards this new man and asked him for a match to light a cigarette. In response, he said, "Match, take it, but you will give me 1 cigarette." This was our permanent code for the new guy. After getting the correct answer, I gave him a cigarette and lit my cigarette and came back walking. Contact. It was there. I gestured to one of my colleagues who was standing some distance away from me. He passed in front of me and stood on the other side where contact couldn't see it. He had the mail. I took my mail from contact and told him to go to that side where my partner was. I also walked behind. Meanwhile, contact's partner also followed him, keeping a distance. I passed by my partner, stopped him and took the packet of postage from him. My companion immediately left for his home. Meanwhile, I took the postal packet and reached out to contact. I handed over the packet to him without being seen by anyone. Before that, I told contact for the next appointment. He had told many places, days and times. Contact took the packet and left immediately. I saw that his company also gave some distance to him. He was going backwards. In Delhi's dense population, I could have met contact directly and exchanged mails, but presented the possibility of any danger. These precautions have to be taken keeping an eye. However, this stage was completed successfully. He had reached his home after taking the post. It is predetermined. Coming out of the house on time, he was waiting at the appointed place. I took the postal packet from him and came to my hotel. There were some instructions in the post and 20,000 rupees for my colleagues and 10,000 rupees for me. We were getting a lot of money, but we kept track of every single penny. It was probably on a Saturday evening when Ashoka organized an entertainment program at the hotel which included floor dancing. Admission to this program was on ticket. I wanted to get a ticket and found out that only couples are allowed to enter. I needed a female companion, which was fulfilled in Ashoka's lobby. Girls from poor families who want to enter the high society are often found sitting in the lobby of these 5-star hotels in the evenings, looking for people who can afford their evening. I invited one such girl. She immediately agreed. I took the ticket, entered the hall and booked a table. Slowly different couples were entering the hall. After some time, the dance started on the floor. A couple seen 2 or 3 times at Akbar Hotel was also there. The husband is old and the wife is young. Both were busy drinking. I asked my companion girl, she got ready, and we came to the floor. Swar started out as a dance tune. The orchestra became faster and eventually ended in the most popular rock and roll of the era. The old husband had also been affected. He also came to the floor along with his partner. Soon he was panting while dancing to a fast tune in rock and roll. I was looking for such an opportunity. According to the Western rule, I gently tapped my fingers on the old man's back. He separated from that woman and she started dancing with me. When there was a break in the dance, I went to leave the woman at her table. Introduce myself. Thanks to both. This woman invited me to sit at his table, which I accepted. During the conversation, it was learned that the man is a contractor and the woman is his wife. The loud sound of the orchestra and the loud conversation of the drunkards made a lot of noise. I felt that the contractor did not like my presence at the table and my dancing with his wife. I was about to get up after taking permission from them when the dance started again. I vividly remember the orchestra starting to play my favorite song come September. My feet started pounding on the floor helplessly. The contractor's wife, who was young and very attractive, beckoned to me with drunken eyes. I got up from the chair. She also stood with me, and we started to come to the floor. Square slow is danced to this tune, and the bodies of the dancers come very close to each other. Some influence of the environment, some intoxication of wine, and the enthusiasm of youth. After taking a few steps, this woman put her head on my chest. I asked her name in a whisper, and she told me Asha. I told her that I felt that your husband did not like me dancing with you. She relied what he can do more than dislike. She replied in a very meaningful way. I told her that I had seen you 2 or 3 times at Akbar Hotel, and could not help being impressed by your beauty. Today, couldn't help but see you entering this program. Picked up a girl from the lobby, and came in with her, as only couples are allowed. She said that I thought that she is your wife. She laughed and said in the same simple tone, "You men are big devils." When I asked him, she told that the contractor's first wife is dead, and the children of this wife are older than her. I told her I have come from Bombay, and I am staying at Lodi Hotel. Staying in Delhi for a few months on business. I am unmarried simply because I have not found a woman of my choice so far. I am completely alone. I wanted to attract her to my side by talking to her as soon as possible. I might not get such an opportunity later. She said in the same solemn tone that you were lonely before. Don't be lonely now. She asked for my room number in Lodi Hotel, and she also asked my name again to sit down, and while dancing, she hit her head on my chest. Readers who have not had the opportunity to go to such a high society must have heard that the Britishers, while leaving the subcontinent, ended their cursed lives. Traditions were left here, and the people of this society went so far in copying the West that they left the West behind. In India, now half of the city girls wear skirts and jeans. These are the middle-class people, while the upper class has also crossed these limits in westernization. The video cassettes of Indian films will testify to my point that what we do not see in Western films, we get in Indian films. The dance ended and I left Asha at her table and came to my table. My paid friend meanwhile was drunk on beer and whiskey. I myself wanted to get out of this environment now, because no couple can even think of spending their evening in 5-star hotels like Ashoka and Akbar for only 200 rupees, just because of the entertainment program and the tickets. The noisy people of the previous class were there on a storm of bad manners. I paid the bill and went to my hotel, leaving paid friend to find another man to afford her evening. The next day at 11 a.m. my phone rang. I wondered who could be calling me. I picked up the phone. It was clear from her voice that she was still drunk. After exchanging formal words, she said, "I am coming to meet you at your hotel, and will do punch with you." I asked her to meet me in the lobby, and got ready and sat in the lobby. After a while, she also arrived, and we went to a corner of the coffee shop. Sat down. I asked him that even at night, your husband seemed angry about our dancing, and now, you have come here alone. She started laughing and said that Jikans, that was her husband's name. Resentment and anger disappears as soon as the intoxication of alcohol wears off. He is not a man. She said that he also knows very well that his relationship with me is possible only if he keeps his eyes and ears shut. The married life of a high society young wife and an old husband was described by Asha in 7 English words. We both sat at a table and started thinking about the fulfillment of our own plans and desires. I held her hand and in a loving tone, I am not the first man in your life other than your husband. She then started laughing and said, if you think so, you are a fool. She unhesitatingly told me that my husband often gives parties to the authorized officers to get contracts and forwards me to please them. These people have entered such an age limit that they have become physically useless. My father was also a contractor, and in one contract, he lost so much that he could not recover, and few of my father. He bought me with financial assistance. If Jaichand had been sincere to me, I would have proved to be a good wife, despite such a difference in ages. But Jaichand did not agree. He started selling me to acquire. Now, we both have an agreement that in the parties he gives, I try to get contracts for him, and he doesn't ask about my personal activities. If under the influence of alcohol, he sometimes gets angry, I bring up his weaknesses and he shuts up. After talking for a long time, when I asked him to go to the dining hall for lunch, she said that he was already full from the snacks in the coffee shop. She kept telling me to go to my room, and every time I diverted her attention. For the sake of the readers, I am not a pious person or an angel. It was very difficult to refuse such an open invitation from a beautiful and young woman, but I know such woman's nature. I was well aware that until the desire of a woman of this type is not fulfilled, she not only continues to gratify her desire, but can go dangerously far for her goal. Once the wish is fulfilled, she starts looking for a new adventure by adding this man to her list of conquered men, and from the aspects of her life, she tells me, she can be of great use to me. Thank you so much for watching our video. This is real story of Pakistani spy Abu Shuja Abu Wakr, the man who served in India as a spy agent in the cover of Open Tea Trader. If you have no subscribed, then subscribe our channel now and press the bell icon so you never miss any update of this story. If you like the video, please give it a like, comment below to let us know your opinion. We will meet you again with another episode. Till then, have a good care of yourself.